Brandon Yates is... well, there's no way around it. Guy's a fucking genius. On this YouTube platform, there are a few singers that really stick with me. Caleb Hiles, Jonathan Young, obviously Ben the GM, and of course, Brandon Yates. And while Brandon's work on death battle tracks has been phenomenal and dropped some of my favourite vocal tracks in the series, he also has his commissioned work. Now, I haven't commissioned any of these songs myself, so if anybody's wondering if I have any biases going in, I don't. These are all tracks commissioned by other people, quite a few of them even from people that I know myself. These tracks are a little costly for me, not to say that they don't warrant it and that they're not, you know, good enough for the price, just I am not of the budget to be able to commission any of these. And while I'm friends with the GM, sadly, I can't say I'm necessarily friends with Yates. I've talked with him before, and he's definitely a really cool bloke, but sad hours for Nemesis, he and I don't talk very often. There's no reason for that to be in the video, but I felt like saying it. I do have a ranking for his instrumental tracks I'm working on, but that has way more to go over, so I thought I'd get to this. My ranking of every single Brandon Yates lyrical track, and anybody who commissioned these who may be watching, you did good, because even the lyrical tracks I'm not a fan of generally have really good instrumentals I can love. Also, if I missed any, it's because he does not have a playlist for his vocal tracks, so I have to look for these myself, and it's difficult.
How about that? Time to move along, I guess. Nothing to see here.
Predator and Prey. I started my script for my instrumental writing before this vocal version came out, so let me read what I wrote for that. I didn't expect this to be so good, but this track hooked me immediately and kept me invested in it. It has that distinct and classic red versus blue sound to it, giving it a really fun feeling while also sounding like the perfect backing for a fast-paced 3D fight that I can picture playing out in my head as I watch it. I also love the bits of whispering that you can hear at points, which obviously in a death battle would be scenes where the meta takes the advantage, as you can't really do it like Slingshot and have silence represent the meta's advantage because the Predator is also fairly silent, and it just adds to the atmosphere of the track so damn well. Unfortunately, the lyrics I don't think really work. While the instrumental got in my top 10, something about the lyrics just feels distinctly less red versus blue to me, and it doesn't sound right. It feels exactly like a great instrumental track that someone forced lyrics into. It's one of those things where it's hard to explain, but while I go and listen to the instrumental of this track quite a lot, I rarely, if ever, even consider listening to the lyrical one. In fact, most of the times I click on that track, it's because I got it in my recommended bar and clicked on it without realizing it was the vocal one. It's not even like I think the lyrics or the vocals themselves are bad, it's just, it feels wrong. Though it is weird that the lyrics have I am the meta as if this is supposed to be from the perspective of the meta when the Predator's the one that can actually talk, and also you already had the whispering to represent the meta. I don't get it. This feels like an instrumental with an unrelated lyrical track that's been edited together in Audacity, and I can't shake that feeling. Fire and Fury. I know for a fact people are going to expect it from me with my rap music taste being so open, but I do not like this vocal track. Oh dear, I don't like the rap track. What a shocker, I know. Honestly, I just don't like how this sounds. I like the chorus, and I love the integration of the Mortal Kombat shout from Techno Syndrome, but the rap doesn't do it for me, and I don't like it. And there's the random Omae wa mu Shinderu bar, just... what? Why? Warhammer of Doom is a really good track with a great instrumental and some pretty good vocals, but honestly, they don't really sell it for me. They felt a bit soft to me, and I get that might have been the point, but if any matchup was to have brutal guttural vocals, it would be the one with Warlord motherfucking Gazgul Maguruk Thraka in it. There wasn't even a moment for Brandon to go, whoa, you know, like an orc, which I would do louder if there weren't people sleeping, which is essential in any Warhammer Orcs related thing. I'm a Warhammer fan, what of it? But yeah, while I do like how it sounds sometimes, it just doesn't feel like the vocals really fit these characters. I can see it for Thrall to an extent, but not Gazgul. And something about the second half of this track, it does start to click with me and it works, like, but overall, while I really like the instrumental and the matchup, of all the matchups in this video that I didn't think about prior to seeing the track, this is the one that stuck with me the most. But something about the vocal track is just very hit or miss to me.
You get me twice in a row next! Now shut up or die, nerd!
Don't use your fucking Bakugo voice on me.
Marvel for All. This is a pretty good track. It's fun, it matches the tone of both characters, the lyrics are solid, and vocals are good. The sound fits My Academia quite well, which is what matters, seeing as Marvel, and especially Kamala Khan herself, don't have a singular sound associated with them aside from the Avengers theme and the often joked about forgettable things from most other films, and that's not something I'd want this track to pick up. It's certainly good, but it's one of the ones I had the least to say about overall.
Byleth bad.
Waking the Demon. Byleth bad? Track good. It's a very serviceable track that's a good listen to every now and again. Good vocal work, good instrumental, it's just good. This might have less to it than I feel the need to talk about than Marvel for All. I guess I really like the chorus in this one, that does get in my head at points, but aside from that, there's not much that got stuck in my head. But admittedly, not many things do get stuck in my head. That's a lie, a lot of things get stuck in my head, especially Hammerfall songs. I swear all of them have gone to my head at some point. Primal Chaos. This is one where I once again find myself lacking things to say. It's good. I mean, obviously it's good if it's this high up, but it's in a state where it's like, yeah, I'll listen to it, but it's not something that particularly gets stuck in my head or that I remember anything about. It's just good. Vocal Atlas. This vocal track came out literally right as I was going to place the instrumental in my instrumental ranking, and honestly, I thought the instrumental was good but nothing special, but this kind of clicks with me, this vocal track. Admittedly, the vocals are very repetitive and such, but that is very Vocaloid. It's just one of those things where a lot of the song clicked for me, but it's not in a way I have any real explanation for. But I do acknowledge the vocals being repetitive is not great. And it's not even that I don't understand why this was done. It's very Vocaloid and very pop music-y, but I mean, I don't really like pop music much. At least not what people generally refer to pop music nowadays. This song though sounds more like a video game track than a pop track to me, and that allows me to enjoy it in spite of that. I'm cheating, but fuck you.
Okay, that's funny.
Phantom's Game. One word comes to mind with this track, and that's, well, there's a few, but the biggest one is catchy. The lyrics and instrumental work in this song make it very catchy and very groovy. I can picture this with the opening cinematic of Persona 5, and it fits so well. It just has that vibe, you know? And that's the best way to describe it. The song vibes like hell. I have no other thing to say about it. HALLELUJAH-NO-OKAMI. A great track for a good matchup. HALLELUJAH-NO-OKAMI has a great bouncy feel throughout, as well as a surprisingly intense ending that I can totally imagine a super climatic final showdown having. Even if the matchup is a complete washed out stomp, I could believe that I could feel tense and unsure of who's going to win solely by the quality of this ending bit. I really like this track. I like the vocals and the lyrics, and the paraphrasing of "Don't Lose Your Way" from Kill la Kill's iconic "Before My Body Is Dry" without directly quoting it due to the distinction between Mako and Ryuko is great. I'm glad they could work it in without just making it the exact same line. In fact, overall, it's a surprisingly intense track for this matchup, but considering the most iconic scene for Goku uniform Mako, that kind of fits, and the melancholy feel of some of these lyrics really works for Mako's arc in that moment, and almost emphasizes the hidden depths of her character that often get overlooked. I genuinely really like these lyrics more and more every time I listen to the track. It's just generally really good. Biffweed drops a vor joke. Truth and Claw is great. The track sounds good, I love the overall vibes, and I really like the vocals. It's funny because I didn't really like Miriani's vocals in Lost Ice Storms, but for some reason, it doesn't sound different to me, but I actually like it. I have nothing more to say. Not sure whether I like this or HALLELUJAH-NO-OKAMI more.
Yamato was a unique weapon, but its legend clearly exaggerated.
Devil Draws Near. Oh, this track is so good. I absolutely love this track, and for the longest time this was solidly number one. It is shockingly good, seeing as Brandon had medical concerns and wasn't singing at his best. Truly, props to this man, this juggernaut of musical talent, because his vocals here are perfect for a Devil May Cry track, and it's just a great track overall. With almost a Slipknot feel, with a combination of guttural and non-guttural singing, which I think is better than even his official death metal tracks that attempt to do the same. I listened to this one more than every other track that before this one combined. I love this track.
Hey, you ever seen a supernova?
Several, actually.
Was there any doubt? Well, probably, but not for me. Will of the Drill is something else. It manages to be an excellent track, nearly 6 minute long, which indeed proves that Kings of Infinity could have been good and the same length. This track is just excellence, pure and simple. The vocals from Trey Watson and Brandon Yates are simply incredible. They work so well together, with the instrumental giving this feeling of just pure hype. There's this sense of energy and excitement that feels like it'd fit perfectly with a fight that doesn't bother to go with tone or nuance, but pure adrenaline-filled absurdity. I can picture it going ridiculous as I listen to this song. When the song drops a little, I can picture one of them being pushed to their limit and then pushing back even harder. There's a sense of scope this song shares a few others, like Rayquaza vs Bahamut or Percy vs Lapis, but it's completely different. Those songs make me imagine a biblical battle of myth between characters over the wide expanse of the ocean or in the cover of the clouds. Will of the Drill makes me imagine characters standing atop the very galaxies we live in and reaching a celestial scale, not limited to the earth and the ground, but eclipsing the very stars of which they fight to protect. This song perfectly captures the inspirational nature of the characters, the scale of the fight, the energy of Gurren Lagann, the emotional beats of Kyle's journey to White Land, and above all, the fun this matchup can bring. And for that, as well as being a genuine banger of a song, puts it leaps and bounds above the others, as my favorite overall commissioned track from Brandon Yates. And that was my video. I'll say it again, Brandon Yates is an incredible musician, and I'm sure just talking about a Liu Kang versus Jabba matchup that people will inevitably ask me, who's better between Ben T and Brandon Yates? And at that I say, who cares? There is no best. There will obviously be preferences, but that's because the two are inherently different musicians. It's not a matter of who's better, but whose style you prefer. And if the two make their own track for a matchup, try not to turn the comment sections into a dick measuring contest for whose track is better. If you want to show your support for either artist, go to their comments, give them support, but don't tell them they're better than someone else, and don't go to the other person's comments to tell them they're inferior. That doesn't help anybody. So that was my video. If you disagree, that's fine. Musical taste is a thing, and it's very, very subjective. I have nothing else to say. Have a good one and piss off.